In nearly every American household, there is a simple instrument that is taken for granted. One reason for this is that it can cost as little as a penny and rarely more than $1. I am speaking of the common wooden pencil. The more one learns about its origins, the more amazing the pencil becomes. In 1958, Leonard wrote, "I pencil, my family tree." Today, I would like to tell you about the pencil and let the pencil tell his story in his own words. I am an ordinary lead pencil, the common wooden variety that is familiar to all boys, girls, and adults who know how to read and write. Writing is both my vocation and my avocation. That is all I do. You may wonder why I should write a genealogy. Well, first, because my story is interesting. And next, because I am a mystery. More so than a tree, or a sunset, or a flash of lightning. And yet, I am taken for granted by those who use me, as if I were a mere incident and without background. This supercilious attitude relegates me to the level of the commonplace. The wise G.K. Chesterton once observed that we are perishing for lack of wonder, not for lack of wonders. I pencil, simple though I appear to be, merit your wonder and awe. A claim I shall attempt to prove today. I have a profound lesson to teach, and can teach it better than an automobile, an airplane, or an automatic dishwasher. Because I am seemingly so simple. Simple, and yet not a single person on the face of this earth knows how to make me. This sounds fantastic, doesn't it? Especially when it is considered that nearly 1.5 billion of my kind are produced in the USA each year. Pick me up, look me over. What do you see? There's some wood, lacquer, the printed labeling, graphite lead, a bit of metal, and an eraser. Not much meets the eye. Just as you cannot trace your family tree back very far, so too is it impossible for me to be able to name and explain all of my antecedents. But I would like to suggest enough of them today to impress upon you the richness and complexity of my background. My family tree starts with a tree, a cedar of straight grain grown in Northern California and Oregon. Now, contemplate all the saws, trucks, ropes, and countless other gear used in harvesting and carting me over to the railroad siding. Then, the logs are shipped to a mill in San Leandro, California. Can you imagine all of the workers who created flat cars, rails, and railroad engines, and all those who constructed and put together the communication systems incidental thereto? These legions are among my antecedents. Once at the mill in San Leandro, the logs are cut into tiny pencil-length slats, less than 1/4 of an inch thick. How many skills went into the motors, gears, and all the other things that a mill requires? Once in the pencil factory, the slats are given 8 grooves by a complex machine. Then another machine lays leads in every other slat, applies glue, and places a slat on top. A lead sandwich, so to speak. My lead, it contains no lead at all, is complex. The graphite in my pencils is mined in Sri Lanka. Consider these miners, and those who make their tools, and the makers of the sacks that carries the graphite, and those who make the strings that tie the sacks, and those who put the sacks on the ships, and those who make the ships that transport this graphite. Even the lighthouse keepers along the way assisted in my birth. The graphite is mixed with clay from Mississippi, in which ammonium hydroxide is used in the refining process. Then, wetting agents are added, such as sulfonated tallow. The mixture goes through machine after machine after machine, then appears extruded as an endless extrusion. Cut to size, dried, and then baked for several hours at 1,850 degrees Fahrenheit. To make the graphite stronger and smoother, other agents are added, including a hot mixture of candelilla wax, paraffin wax, and hydrogenated fats. My cedar receives 6 coats of lacquer. Do you know the ingredients of lacquer? Who would have thought that the growers of castor beans or the refiners of castor oil would have a part in it? They do. Why, even the processes in which my lacquer is made a beautiful color of yellow go through more people and use more skills than can be enumerated. Observe the labeling. That's a film formed by applying heat to carbon black mixed with resins. How do you make resins, and what is carbon black? Then there's my bit of metal, the ferrule at the top. That is made of brass. Consider all of the miners of zinc and copper that went into making brass, and then consider all of those who make the shiny sheet metal in factories out of these natural resources. Those black rings on my ferrule are black nickel. What is black nickel, and how is it applied? Then there's my crowning glory, inelegantly referred to in the trade as the plug, the part man uses to erase the errors he makes with me. An ingredient called factice is what does the erasing. Factice is made by reacting rapeseed oil with sulfur chloride to create a rubbery-like substance. Rubber, contrary to common notion, is not used for erasing, instead only for binding purposes. Then too, there are numerous vulcanizing and accelerating agents, including pumice from Italy and cadmium sulfite to create that lovely pink pigment in my plug. Do you disagree? Could anyone disagree with my earlier assertion that no single person on the face of this earth knows how to make me? In fact, millions have had a hand in my creation, but not a single one of them, not even the president of the pencil company, who contributes more than a tiny infinitesimal bit of know-how. I, pencil, am a complex combination of miracles. A tree, zinc, copper, graphite, and so on. And yet added to these miracles is the even greater miracle of creative human energies. Humans came together spontaneously for the necessity of a simple wooden pencil. Thank you.